Animal shelters saw a huge increase in adoptions during the pandemic. As more people started working from home, they felt it was time to adopt a pet. But now people are starting to go back to work and pets may have a difficult time adjusting. So to help you with the transition is animal behaviorist Erin Wise from the Denver Animal Protection. And Erin, many of our pets have gotten used to us just being home all the time, so they may act out when being left alone. Tell us a little bit about those behaviors and why pets do that.
So there's a few different behaviors we often see when animals are left alone. One of them might be destructive chewing or destructive scratching. Both of these are really natural, normal behaviors in our pets, and we actually need to give them appropriate outlets for that. So for our dogs, we want to talk to our vets about whether things like rawhides, antlers, bully sticks, or pig's ears are appropriate. We can also give them some stuffed food dispensing toys. And for our cats, we want to make sure that they have a variety of appropriate scratching surfaces. So things like cardboard, wood, sisal, or even carpet, and make sure they have both vertical and horizontal surfaces. What we want to do is if they're chewing inappropriately is to confine them to an area where the only options they have are those legal outlets that we want them to use. And then once they've developed a really strong habit of only chewing or scratching on those things, we can then give them a little bit more freedom. Another behavior we often see is excessive vocalization. This is a little bit more common in dogs than it is in cats. And dogs will do this for a variety of reasons. One might be boredom. So increasing exercise and giving them lots of appropriate things to do when left alone can help. And for other dogs, it's just because there's really exciting stuff going on outside. So we can help drown out that stuff by leaving the radio or the TV on to drown out outside noise, or blocking windows with either frosting the glass or drawing the drapes. Another thing we also see is a regression in house training. So they might be soiling in the house when they're left alone. For most animals, this is just run-of-the-mill house training. So we want to manage them by giving them a smaller space, so using a crate or keeping them in a smaller room of the house, and then really reinforcing them with super delicious, high-value snacks when they do go to the bathroom in the appropriate place. For some animals, though, these behaviors might be a sign of separation anxiety, which is a bona fide panic attack. So that's a panic disorder. If you are at all concerned that your pet is showing signs of separation anxiety, we recommend talking to your veterinarian about the possibility of adding medication, as well as working with a certified separation anxiety trainer to determine if they have true separation anxiety.
Great, Erin. I know a lot of people got dogs during the pandemic and have really not left them alone for more than a few hours. Is there a way that owners can get their dogs ready for 8 hours alone?
Absolutely. So if your dog is used to being left alone for a shorter period of time, let's say about 2 or 3 hours, we want to start there and then just slowly add increments of 30 to 60 minutes over the course of a few weeks to a couple months until you get up to 8 hours. The nice thing about once animals are being left alone for a few hours is you can add that additional time in pretty big blocks. So you can add it in 30 to 60 minute blocks instead of having to go down to a smaller amount of time, like minutes or seconds.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a great idea. I know you went through a few ideas, but what else can we do to help our pets when we're leaving the house?
Yeah, so before you leave, providing them with a good amount of exercise can be really beneficial. For dogs, going for a walk usually isn't, hard exercise for them. That's more of a social event where they get to sniff and maybe say hi to a couple of their friends. So giving them some off-leash opportunities, such as playing at the dog park or playing fetch in the yard, can be really helpful. Or if you happen to be a little bit more active and you like to go running or hiking, you can take your dog along with you. The more well-exercised they are, the more time they will spend resting while you're away. And for cats, you want to add 15 minutes of interactive playtime 3 times a day. And interactive play just means that you are on the other end of the toy, as opposed to just giving them some stuff on the floor to play with. The other thing you can do is to give them some things to do while you're gone. For most animals, this is going to be food or puzzle toys. So a lot of people are familiar with the classic Kong. This is a hollow toy that you can fill with things like kibble, treats, peanut butter, and canned food. Once they get the hang of it, you can freeze them overnight to make them a little bit more challenging. We also have some things like these puzzle toys where the dogs have to pull the toy apart to get to the food. Anything anything with really small pieces like this, you do want to supervise it first to make sure that they're not ingesting anything that they shouldn't. And for a more DIY option, you can use something like a muffin tin. You put some treats inside, such as these, and then you top it with some tennis balls or some toys, and the dogs have to work to get the food out. We don't want to forget our cats, though. So there are options for cats as well. This is called an exerciser. You fill this with kibbles and treats, and the cat has to knock it around to get the food out.
Those are great ideas. I know we use the Kong with peanut butter for our dogs, and it works great. So Erin, thank you so much for helping our pets get ready to return to normalcy. I know it's a big change for everyone, so we appreciate it. And we'll be sure to put all of our tips on our website, cbsdenver.com.